Hey guys, good evening once more and welcome to the Big Debate where we continue our discussions on the ongoing African Cup of Nations taking place in Cameroon. So far, the final quarterfinals games were played on Sunday, the 30th of January, and we'll be discussing those games today with our two football analysts and fans of football. We know that the previous day, the first two quarterfinals games took place, which we have already discussed. So, with me in the studio today to discuss the game that took place on January 30th, Sunday, January 30th. So, that's a game between Egypt and Morocco and Senegal and Equatorial Guinea. My good friend and brother, Maitre Bechem Ebini. So, good evening, Maitre, and welcome to the Big Debate.
Good evening, Dr. T, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure always having you and sacrificing all your time to join us to discuss football. You have to be a fan of football to actually come out there to leave some other important things before to join the show. So, thank you once more. And also, we have our legendary True Lion. Good evening, True Lion, and welcome to the Big Debate.
Good evening, Dr. T. Good evening, Bechem. It's a pleasure.
Good evening, True Lion.
It's a pleasure having you both on the Big Debate today. And so we will delve straight to football and football only. On Saturday, we discussed the games that took place that day. So the quarterfinals games between Cameroon and Gambia and the other quarterfinals game. So today we'll be focusing on the game that took place on Sunday, January 30th. So two games took place. The first game which took place was between Morocco and Egypt. So that is a game which was the talk of the town. Everybody was talking about these games because they thought like these teams actually came to win this competition. Morocco came, and this is something that True Lion highlighted before. Morocco came, they hired a Boeing 737, came with all their staff, including cooking staff. So, Maitre Bechem, I'll start with you today. I will give you the privileges today. The other day, True Lion had the privileges to start. So, what did you see in the game? So, before you start, this is how the two teams lined up. So, both teams had everyone they could have had, except for Egypt, who didn't have the starting goalkeeper, who was unfortunately injured before in the game before. So then, apart from that, everyone who was supposed to play the game. So you tell me how the teams lined up and how the teams played and how you think they played.
Well, like I said in the pre-game analysis, it was a North African derby, and this is like Inter Milan or AC Milan facing each other. No matter which team you present, it's definitely going to be a fight. So, and both teams actually came to win the game. You could see that Morocco started with all the energy that they had. Hakimi was there running the channels, trying to dictate play, and also the attackers like Gufao controlling the game with like someone like Gufao who has great pace with the ball, also excellent control of the ball. So, and Morocco actually came in with the zeal that Egypt did not show. However, as the game went on, Egypt actually grew into the game. They actually gave more into the game, and you could see at the end they became victorious. But again, it was definitely going to be a very difficult game, not just because of the quality of the players, but because of the rivalry that exists between the two teams.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. Yeah, so those teams, both of them,
something that we should be proud of. Yeah.
Yes, they are neighbors in North Africa, and usually each time they meet, it's always a very heated encounter. And True Lion, what's your take on that? I have a few questions for you guys later, but I want you guys to have your first word before we start discussing the tactics and the overall game.
Well, as Maitre Bechem said, it was I think he picked Egypt to win. I was the one who picked Morocco, and I made some important points about is it Hakimi?
Hakimi, yeah.
You saw what he did just 2-3 minutes. He's a very little player, although he's a right back. So that penalty that he won, and then Boufal actually went ahead to score, putting Morocco up front. And sometimes it becomes a problem when you score early goals because you might just get missing and try to defend the goal. And then Egypt actually grew with confidence since they were now able to knock the ball around. So Morocco was not doing that high pressure. Morocco was not fighting enough, did not put enough energy. We saw two important saves by the Moroccan goalkeeper, just alone in the first half. It was a great save coming from a shot from our man, also photo the left back. So you see how high Egypt was playing.
Yeah.
And that meant because Morocco had just gone back into their shell, trying to defend, the game. So that's what actually, I think Morocco derailed after that goal. They didn't keep the same energy.
Yeah, this is something that Maitre Bechem mentioned to me offline before we started the show. He said, like, it seems as if the result of the game is whoever came in with more energy. And that's something you just highlighted, because it seems as if 2-3 minutes into the game, Morocco had that that Hakimi run on the right. It resulted in a penalty. But after that, the midfield dominance was determined by whoever came out there with more energy.
Yes, I think Morocco also did not pay attention to little details. When you play against Egypt and you know that Salah is the main guy from Egypt, there is no moment you should give Salah free shots on target. Look at the goal. Look at the equalizer. I mean, where was the defense? You let Salah score that type of a goal. You should be letting Salah score difficult goals, not just tap-ins. You should put a body on.
Two Lion, I disagree with you when it comes to that goal. I think Salah scored that goal because there was a player who kept him onside, not because he was left alone. This was a very good header, and the goalkeeper made an excellent save. Salah was just fortunate that the ball dropped right in front of him. And the defender who was with Salah was actually leaving to play Salah offside. And then it so happened that the other defender on the other end kept Salah onside. So I don't think the defense is to be blamed. The only reason you can blame them that, hey, they were sloppy. It was a set piece. They let a free header and then could not really react promptly to a rebound. So, but if you say that someone wasn't with Salah, you cannot be with Salah 24/7.
Well, again, Maitre Bechem, I disagree with you on this one, because no matter what happens, you should not let Salah have such a goal. I mean, it was a tap-in. He didn't even need to kick the ball.
I mean, I would have scored that goal. So that's why I'm not going to say I'm with a Maitre Bechem on this one. But I think it wasn't that they didn't pay attention to Salah alone for that goal. They didn't pay attention to anyone there, because anyone who was there would just put, even my grandmother would have scored that goal.
But Dr. T, this is defending one-on-one.
Yes, I totally agree.
When you know you have a player like Mo Salah, you never leave him alone. That's period. I mean, that's simple. Correct. That's the basics. I don't know what happened. Could the goalkeeper have caught that ball? I don't want to talk about that. Just the fact that
any player in that position would have scored. So the issue is not Mo Salah there.
In football, they say something.
Is a player who was there, right?
Somebody else score, but not Mo Salah. I mean, that type of a keep shot, because make it difficult for Mo Salah. Even look at the second goal.
Okay, yeah. So I'm going to come with a second goal. So comment the hour. So this game eventually they went on. Morocco held on play. So the first half ended 1-0. Egypt came on with more energy. They raised the game in the first half, but in the second half they even raised the game further and scored that goal that you guys just discussed. But comment the hour in extra time. These guys showed up. So now we can talk about Mo Salah.
So, Dr. T, this is where coaching play a very big role. We all know Egypt has Carlos Queiroz, who is like the most experienced manager, former assistant to Ferguson, a former Real Madrid coach.
Real Madrid manager.
Yes. He's
coached so many countries. Yeah.
Yes. I just don't understand why Morocco did not take advantage of the fact that Hegazi was out. The Egyptian goalkeeper was injured. They did not take advantage of that. And when Hegazi came out, Egypt actually replaced him with a striker in Trezeguet.
I know,
yeah. So I believe that the Moroccan coach would have attacked Egypt at that point, knowing that they were playing more. But in contrast, what they did was they actually went back and they were more or less playing with two people up front. The midfield was just lacking, no creativity and nothing, So I think the coaching actually helped Egypt. I'm one of those people like Chola of criticize the fact that we bring this foreign expatriate to come do this job when we have folks. But I think Carlos Queiroz actually proved his worth yesterday, and that he made the difference for the most part.
So, True Lion, you tell me about that run by Mo Salah on the right, because that is what created the goal that qualified Egypt to the semi-finals.
I think, again, I'll go back from the early goal that Morocco scored, because they scored within 3 minutes.
3 minutes, yeah.
That actually played against their psyche, their psychology and all that. Mentally, that played again. They were actually looking to defend. And when you let a team, look at the way Nigeria played Egypt. They pressed Egypt. They didn't give Egypt opportunities to get confident and build their game. That's where Morocco actually failed, because when you now don't press Egypt, because they are not good at passing the ball from behind to the midfield. Believe me, I've watched this Egypt team, and I don't think Queiroz is a good national team coach. He has not proven himself. He went to South America and he failed. So I don't think he's a good coach. The issue is that Morocco actually did not pay attention to Mo Salah, and it proved again to be very costly in the second goal, because those are the type of runs Mo Salah likes to do. Morocco was playing high. It was as if you were 1-1. Just be patient, stick to the game plan. I think the players were not disciplined enough, because when the left back went high and Mo Salah had that run, keep in mind, Mo Salah is not the fastest, but he can keep the ball glued to his feet. He could have tried, maybe then defended, but he could have tried a shot. But he saw Trezeguet run the back end of it, and he just passed the ball. Perfect pass. And I keep saying this: don't let Mo Salah beat you. As simple as that.
So while you are talking about the coach, okay, Maitre, Bechem, you go ahead before I post my question.
I think I'm with you on that. I blame the defense, but I'm not blaming the defense because the left back actually gave Salah space. I think the mistake was the two defenders Moroccans who were defending did not attack Salah. They were backing up while Salah was approaching them. That to me was a miscommunication. One person was supposed to attack Salah while the other person retreats, but both of them were actually retreating. That gave Salah the space to raise his head and give that clinical pass. And you don't give space to Salah. Go to Salah.
Yeah, but Bechem, if you have watched defenders nowadays, I don't know why they do that, but if you watch, I know you do watch football. When a striker like Mo Salah holds the ball, guess what they are trying to do? They are trying to buy time for their other defenders to get in speed. And when you go one-on-one, believe me, when you go one-on-one on Salah, you have lost the battle.
No, but there were two of them.
I don't understand what you're saying, but the other one was farthest, and they did a good job. What they did a good job to make Salah not to come back to his left foot. Was it only if there was only one? I wouldn't actually blame the free shot that Trezeguet or the defenders that were actually on Salah, because they did a good job to make him go to the right. Had he tried to go to just kick a shot directly to the side, he wouldn't have scored. So
let me guys tell you what I would have done, because I watched the highlights again. I've watched this incident. So Salah was far. He took the ball very far. It wasn't as if he was close. For goodness sake, or do all-time defending. Just foul him there. Call your defenders. You guys, it's better to score a header when they cross the ball and they head it. Okay, yeah, but at least you have full team defending rather than allow Mo Salah comes to the ball to your 18 box. It's a goal any day.
But yes, Dr. T, again, I'm talking about prevention is better. The only time I blame those defenders is I blame the person who was assigned that left back who actually went a little bit too high and allowed Mo Salah to make that run. It starts from the run, because when he's already in motion, man, it's difficult to bring Mo Salah down.
But True Lion, okay, yeah. So I agree with you that you are a fan of professional fouls. We saw Senegal do them yesterday. We'll talk about that later, because they were very good at that. You are a fan of professional fouls. What you let Mo Salah run in, he gets closer to your 18 box. He can shoot. He can give you a penalty. Foul him out.
No, but Dr. T, yes. I don't blame the central defenders, because they did their job. They didn't give him the angle.
They did not. True Lion. There were two of them. Look. There were two defenders, and then there was Sears, whom I think should have marked Trezeguet. He did not. thinking the reason he did not mark Trezeguet was because he thought that those two folks were going to stop Salah.
No,
Both
but
of them
Maitre,
backed off, and they gave him space.
Maitre Bechem,
Yes.
you cannot ask the central defender, the person who had the right on who was actually on how can I say it, on Trezeguet was not the central defenders. What the central defenders are doing is they are staying with Mo Salah, because don't forget Mo Salah is the highest player, you know. So they are trying to prevent him from coming inside. They did a good job to push him out wide. Their job is done. They cannot prevent that cross. That's what I'm saying.
So truly, I think I agree with you on that. They did a very, very good job. So, and more so, especially when you got closer to the 18 box. So what I'm thinking is, like, I'm not apportioning blame to them. I'm just thinking alternatively, what could have been done to prevent this goal? Far Mo Salah far away. That's just me.
And that started with the guy, the left back.
The left back, yeah. It could have been anyone. I'm not saying it's central defender, but like, you don't let Mo Salah get closer to your 18 meters box. And then, of course, there is something that you also mentioned about the coaching. It seems as if the coaching and the substitutes in this competition have either made or marred some of the games. While you think you don't believe much on Kiros, I think he made a fantastic, a very good substitution. He brought in this guy who scored the winning goal.
Yes, Dr. T, let me tell you something. Of course, he brought in Trezeguet, who made that good run and scored the winning goal. But that goal all resulted from the from the fact that you don't let Mo Salah alone.
Okay, I agree with you. Okay, there is something else that I want you guys to talk a little bit on it, because it's something that I noticed, and the refereeing in that game. I think there should have been a red card in that game. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think the game. I actually mentioned this during the game, that the game was more than the referee. This game for me, it's one of Africa's highest rivalry, Morocco Egypt. It's no doubt about it. One of the best games. It's like Cameroon Nigeria. So you need a tough referee. The ref would have actually put a stamp on this game by giving it an early yellow card, not red cards. I realized that he was afraid to give cards. Players were actually talking to him constantly.
Yeah, there was a lot of indiscipline from the Egyptian side.
This ref spent 4 minutes in the first half just to put a line for a free kick.
Yeah, a wall, yeah.
Players constantly came to him, and he had no control of the game. And I mean, just give a yellow card, 1 or 2. He kept arguing with Ernini for over 2 minutes. I'm like, what the hell? Are you truly a professional ref? Give a yellow card, and then you set the stage for all the players. Everybody's gonna toe the line.
Truly, I know you are going to say that. Truly, just before you interject, I know you are going to say that, yeah, it was a good thing, and that's something I also thought, that there wasn't a red card in this game, because eventually it would have spoiled the game in court. So maybe it's a good thing that the referee kept everything, but like, I thought that this order was too much.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, in a game like this, you don't want the ref to be the talking point. You don't want the ref to be a star. But I usually like my games 11 against 11. But if it's something that happens and a player commits a foul, you know, then hey, if they deserve a red card, so be it.
Okay, great. And then the last thing we should talk about this game before we move to our next game is about this guy at 2-1. Almost towards the end of this game, this guy made a fantastic save. I think he actually got injured in the course of that save.
It was 1-1 when it was 1-1.
Okay, it was 1-1. Okay.
Yes, the header. That was a fantastic save, because I thought Morocco was going to score and go and move forward. I mean, that's what I wished for. However, he made a beautiful save. And I don't know what the status is for their number one keeper, but goalkeeping, winning tournaments like this, goalkeeping is actually essential. And we see why Egypt actually moved to the finals. Yeah. To the semifinals, I'm sorry.
And I know that number one. I did enjoy him, the way he controlled the defense behind it, and he's truly a charismatic guy. You could tell the way he was actually instructing players, and even after he left the field, he was there to support his team. He was giving instructions. I mean, I just like that leadership in him.
Yeah, I think he had exceptional leadership skills. He proved that, and it's unfortunate that he may not be playing the next game. Hopefully, he he recovers and plays. He still has a few more days. And then also Egypt lost their first keeper on the quarterfinals, on the 16 finals game, which is also very unfortunate. But the good thing is that Egypt is one of those countries that when the number of players was increased from 23 to 28 players for the tournament, Egypt is the only country that brought in 4 goalkeepers. So they at least still have 2 other goalkeepers. So let's move to the next game. So that is the game between Senegal and Equatorial Guinea. So many say that as Equatorial Guinea exceeded the expectations, their own expectations, and maybe the expectations of everyone in this competition. But also that Senegal has been very, very overwhelming. So I throw this back to you. You guys tell me the tactics, how Senegal and the Equatorial Guinea game happened. So True Lion, for this game, I will start with you.
Yeah, I think I've been very harsh on Cisse, the coach of Senegal. I should actually acknowledge the fact that for the past 2 games, they've scored more goals than they ever scored in the
In the
knockout. I
group
mean,
stages.
group stages, you know. So they scored a total of 5 goals, conceded 1. And Senegal is a team that has actually a very good defense. But I guess my frustration came in the way they played maybe both games. You know, like especially this game in the first half, they were not that convincing. Then you had Equatorial Guinea that came from behind with such a sloppy goal down the heart of their defense. However, I think Mane made a statement, you know, that although some might say he might eat his words, that tells me that they are very determined in order to go ahead and win this Nations Cup. And do they have the effect? Do they have the team? Yes, they do have the team to win. So I think 3-1 with the changes that Cisse made in the second half, both guys that came in, they scored, but it was also a sloppy defending from Equatorial Guinea. But I said it, Equatorial Guinea is not even a team that, you know, I do respect. Hey, don't take me wrongly, but a team that can defend, that can pass the ball while in the midfield, but the final third, their passes were not convincing, and then they don't have what I call the natural scorers.
Yeah,
That
the finishers. Yeah.
exactly that will actually take you from point A to point B.
Yeah. So Maitre Bechem, your input about
Yeah,
that game before we start discussing the players.
yeah, let me start by saying that I predicted that Senegal was going to win 3-1, and that was what happened.
Yeah, you
And
got 2-on-2. You got 2-on-2. Congratulations.
yeah, so but overall, I think Senegal has a great team. My only issue is the way their formation, and I still don't understand why the coach is playing Ghana and what's his
Mendy.
name in that
Mendy.
midfield. And
Yeah,
when,
Mendy.
when they have both of them are very slow and they lack creativity. When they have someone like Koyate, whom I believe can play box to box, and they have a very solid defense. Koulibaly and Diallo, very experienced. And if you look at all the teams that we have in this tournament so far, I think Senegal, player for player, Senegal has the best team for now. All the teams that we have left in the semifinals. The only issue with Senegal, like True Lion said, for me, is Cisse. You know, I know part of it has been his formation has been very poor. His selection also poor sometimes. Part of it has been because of injuries, COVID, and sometimes him just being naive. Because I just don't see, again, I go back to that midfield, it lacks creativity. They were fortunate that Mane showed up yesterday. Mane showed up yesterday. I hope that now that Ismail Sarr is fine, he's going to start because he can kill you on that wing. And if Mane is doing the same on the other end, trust me, the two left and right backs of Burkina Faso have to really, have to sleep well before they come.
We expect Mane to show up every day. We don't expect him to stay in the dressing rooms in other games. But yeah, I give it to him yesterday. Especially for the second goal, the goal that Ismail Sarr scored, the way he took the ball on the chest, and even before that goal, I think he came yesterday not with the intention of scoring, but in intention he made it clear that he wanted his team to win by all means. So he was there to give like all assists, and he did that in the first half.
And I must say that Dr. T, that was the Mane that I saw in Southampton. The Mane who played more like a 10, like that traditional number 10, who can take the ball, go past 1, 2, 3 players. That was the Mane that I saw. I know Liverpool is more of a winger and he wants to score all the time, but at Southampton, he was more focused on playing the ball as opposed to just scoring. So that's the Mane that I like.
Yeah, he was phenomenal, and I must give this to him. The way he took that long pass, I think the ball came from the defense from Koulibaly. Koulibaly gave him like from the 18-meter box to the left, Mane controlled it and the pass to Ismail Sarr. So True Lion. Now let's go to Cisse. You at least you started by at least giving him some praises, but in the group stages and even in the games before yesterday, you have given him a lot of stick. But yesterday, he showed up with his substitutions.
Yeah, I think the substitution, especially that second goal, was just luck. It was not something that was planned. The defenders made a mistake, and Kouyaté scored an easy goal. So that's not something that's planned. But however, yes, if you want to give him credit, you can give him credit.
Every goal comes from a mistake, True Lion. Every goal comes from a mistake. So,
but how can I describe that it was a brilliance from the coach?
But before then, there have been so many corner kicks. Before then, there have been so many corner kicks, and no player did that.
Ghana or Mendy will not be there. That's the difference.
But Dr. T, yes, it's like become like a norm when a coach brings in a player and the defense makes a mistake and the player scores and they said, oh, okay, let's give credit to the coach. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. What's actually happening is that Senegal was largely favorite. I even gave them 3-0. Yes, remember?
That is true.
I didn't say it's going to be 3-0. It's true that Equatorial Guinea came and scored, but the competition has gotten into a point where the big teams who actually come to this game take the approach of going that I'm going to win. Yeah. And they have the arsenal to do that. The problem that Senegal has encountered also is because if you realize they don't have that consistency in the 9 share, in the center forward, they don't have that consistency because if you look at Mane, because if Mane is operating from deep, by the time he gets closer to the
goal, yeah,
exactly. Because guess what? Burkina Faso is a team that will defend 8 men. You see what I'm saying? So in order to threaten them, right, you should have a player that nine shen presence that will actually. I'm not saying that Burkina Faso is going to win, but if Senegal wants to have it easy, they have to do better because Burkina Faso is not Equatorial Guinea. Yeah. They will have to do.
Bechem, I will say here that you mentioned about why he's not been playing Kouyaté. So he's been playing Kouyaté, but Kouyaté had a suspension. He had 2 yellow cards. That's why he didn't play the last game. But I mean, he would have started him in the game yesterday. But one player that Senegal actually missed so much in this competition has been this guy. Eventually, because he came to the competition injured, and then eventually I think he's recovered and started yesterday. He came in as a late sub and showed what he can do.
Yeah, and if you notice, keeping the goal aside, he actually provoked the defender. That was, he kept going when he had the ball. He gave the defender, I think, the second ball that he touched, it was a yellow card for the defender who was going after him because
that's right.
He's the kind of player who will hold the ball and provoke you. He takes the ball to you, and he has that pace, and also excellent ball control. So I expect him to start in the next game, and I like watching him, as a fan of the EPL. So I hope that he starts tomorrow.
Exactly. Semi-final. Exactly. Sarr with Mane will be that 1-2 punch that Cameroon has. If you realize Abubakar is more like who wants to be fancy, while Toko is more like direct. And when Sarr comes for Senegal and plays that direct and threatens those central defenders, because you cannot have central defenders that don't have any job to do. They are only trying to read and maybe come and help in the midfield. If you keep them honest, then Senegal will have an easy win over Burkina Faso. But if they cannot threaten that central defense of Burkina Faso, then it's going to be a long day for them.
So last thing before we end the show, let's talk about Equatorial Guinea defense. I am of the school of thought that Senegal had it very easy because the Equatorial Guinea defense was all over the place. You saw the goal, the goal that Kouyaté scored was all as a result of a defensive miss. Even the goal that what's his name again? The guy who we just discussed about, Ismail Sarr. Like Mane had gone with the ball to the left. You expect him to cross it to the penalty box, but Sarr was just like, he scored an empty goal. That was kind of naive for the defense.
No. I think Mane had dissected the difference. How do you put it together? He had already gone past 2 players. So everyone is scrambling. Who is going to go for Mane? Who is going to go after the 2 players that were running? So I think I will go with the brilliance of Mane rather than the sloppiness of the defense.
The sloppiness of the defense. Okay.
Yeah, well, it's like you cannot play what you don't have. You know, so that's the class of Senegal. What I expected even 3-0. You know, that's the class of Senegal, and that's, you know, where actually Equatorial Guinea. So you cannot play what you don't have. It was a brilliant third goal. The goal that was really sloppy. The goal that was really sloppy was that second goal.
The second goal was sloppy.
It was really a defensive mix.
They had 3 opportunities to clear the ball, which they did not. Yeah.
Okay, guys, it was good having you here at the Big Debate. Tomorrow, we will be here to discuss the preview of the semi-final. So that's going to be the game between Cameroon and Egypt, which will take place on Thursday. But the Wednesday game will be between Senegal and Equatorial Guinea. That's going to be a very, very big game. So Wednesday,
Senegal, Burkina Faso.
Yeah, Burkina Faso. Sorry, my apologies. So Wednesday will be Senegal, Burkina Faso. We'll discuss that tomorrow. I'll have Maitre E.Guinea with me, as well as Maitre Bechem with me. Sorry about that. And True Lion here. And then we'll also talk about the game between Cameroon and Egypt. So one game will be taking place in Douala. The other game will be taking place in Yaoundé. We'll be here to discuss. And if you have any questions, please throw your questions, send them to us, and these guys will be ready to answer your questions. So, gentlemen, thank you for joining the Big Debate once more.
Thank you, Dr. C, and True Lion. Thank you also.
Thank you, Maroc. So, it's a pleasure.
Yeah. So catch you guys tomorrow, and you guys have a wonderful evening.
You do the same, Doc.